part of this hadith. Number one, it started by Umar al-Khattab saying, Sami'tu. Now again, I'd like to share with the brother and sister to understand the beauty of this saying of the companion.
Oh my Creator, oh Allah, fulfill our aims in life, Allah.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. I believe we have Alkama from Oman.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa
My questions were three. First question is it permissible to pray with 3 rakats combined like Maghrib?
Okay, second question.
My second question is it permissible to participate in lucky draw held by supermarkets like Lulu?
Do you pay anything?
Some people say that 6 nafil rakat prayed after Maghrib in Shab-e-Barat is good. What's the true opinion?
6 rakat?
6 nafil rakat prayed after Maghrib in Shab-e-Barat.
Shab-e-Barat is 15 of Sha'ban, right?
Yeah, Shaban.
Okay,
Shaban.
I will answer your questions, inshallah. Okay.
Jazakallahu khair.
Wa jazaki. Sister Alkama from Oman had 3 questions. First one, what's the ruling on praying witr, 3 combined rak'ahs, exactly like Maghrib? The answer is this is not permissible. The Prophet ﷺ forbade us from praying witr similar to Maghrib, which means that if we want to combine the 3 rak'ahs, we pray the first rak'ah and stand up, pray the second rak'ah and stand up, not sit down, and then pray the third rak'ah and then sit down and offer the tashahhud. So in the second rak'ah, we have to differ than Maghrib by not sitting for tashahhud, immediately standing for the third rak'ah. She's asking, what's the ruling on lucky draw when we buy things from the supermarket? First of all, if you pay something for this lucky draw, it is lottery, it is gambling, it's haram. If you don't pay anything, you just simply buy your groceries, but you usually do not go to that supermarket. You only went to shop from that supermarket hoping that you will get a chance to win a prize and participate in this lucky draw. This is not permissible. So if you go to the usual supermarket you go to, and you are shopping your normal groceries, not for the draw, because this is the convenient place you go to usually, and then they put your name in a draw, this is halal. There is no problem in that. I'll give you another example. If there are 2 milk brands, you always buy this milk brand, and all of a sudden the other company announced that whoever buys their product under the cap, they will find a number, and if you call, the number will be inshallah this or that, and you may win a car. So you change to that brand. This is haram, because your intention is to participate. Unfortunately, gambling is so widely spread in the Muslim world, it's beyond imagination. Even in Saudi Arabia, you will find TV channels, you'll find newspapers, magazines, supermarkets, to the extent that you get SMSs in the Gulf worldwide, tells you send a message, and the message costs, for example, 5 riyals or 10 riyals, and you will be able to participate in a lucky draw. What's the difference between this and between buying a lottery ticket for £1? Maybe I will get £1 million and become a millionaire, and maybe the pound would go down the drain. This is gambling. Either you lose the pound or you win something far, far greater than you've anticipated. And this is found in TV channels. Call 700 numbers or call this number where they will extract money from you, and maybe they will give you a question or two. So so the question is, what was the Prophet of Islam's name? And they put you on hold, so the minutes that are running, they're taking your money, and then you say Muhammad, okay, you're in the lucky draw. and after a month or so you lose everything. This is all not permissible. Abu Abdullah from Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullah. Hayyak Allah.
How are you?
I'm fine, Zakallah.
Mubarak.
Same to
Sheikh,
you.
I have 3 questions.
Okay.
The first is regarding obedience to parents. Sometimes you have your mother and your father and you are trying your best to obey them. But then sometimes, because the responsibility of the mother is much greater than that of the father, but then when you are doing it, you do it first to the father before you do it to the mother, because maybe you see the mother is under the control of the father and, trying to please the father first before the mother.
Okay.
Is this having any problem in Islam?
Okay, second question.
Question regarding the issue of azkar after ruku. Subhanallah, after you say Rabbana wa lakal hamdu, you say hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fihi mubarakan alayhi ma yuhibbu rabbuna wa yarda. And they also say mila samawati wal ardi wa ma shi'ta min shay'in ba'daha up to the end. Is that okay? Or you can only choose one of the two? The third is regarding the signs of the last hour. Is there any specific dua that the Prophet ﷺ gave in order for us to recite?
What dua?
To this, for the last days, these calamities, these tribulations.
Okay.
Are there any dua that the Prophet ﷺ recommended?
Okay.
Jazakallah.
Jazak. Umar from Saudi Arabia. Umar.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Mute your television, please.
Yeah, it's already off.
Okay. Wa
I
alaikum salam.
already put it off.
Wa alaikum salam. What's your questions, Umar?
I have one question. I want to ask, what is the difference between tahajjud and qiyamul layl? And what is the reward between this salah and the other one? And which is better?
Okay, I will answer your questions, inshallah.
Okay.
Wajazaki. Alqama had a third question saying that, is it part of the sunnah? Is it recommended to pray the 6 rak'ahs in the 15th of Sha'ban? And the answer is no. There is no authentic hadith, and it's an innovated prayer on that particular night, and one should not do them. Our religion is taken from the Quran and the Sunnah. It's not taken from this scholar or that. So whoever claims that, yes, this is a good thing, provide me hadith. He may bring me a hadith from a book that has so much dust on it and yellow pages, but we have to verify that this is an authentic hadith, and this means that we have to take it to a scholar of hadith who can tell me if this narration, chain of narrators, are they all authentic or it is not. Abu Abdullah's questions: one, they have a problem with the parents. So you try your best to please your father and please your mother, but sometimes you prefer to do something for your father first than your mother. So is there any sin or problem? There isn't any sin as long as your mother is pleased, or as long as your mother does not know. However, the Prophet ﷺ gave 75% of our devotion and love and obedience to the mother. So when a companion came to the Prophet and said, who is among my parents most worthy of my good companionship? He said, your mother. The companion said, then who? The Prophet said, your mother. Then who? The Prophet said, your mother. Then who? The Prophet said, your father. So 75%, you should always put your mother ahead. But if she doesn't know, or you feel that she is okay with you putting your father first and doing what you want to do to him first, this is okay. However, it is a very thin line you walk. And that is why Imam Malik, may Allah have mercy on his soul, Malik ibn Anas, one of the 4 imams of the schools of thought we have, was asked once, who should I obey, my father or my mother? Meaning my father tells me go right, my mother tells me go left. Who should I obey? And the Imam said, obey your mother and do not disobey your father. So how can I do this? You're telling me to obey them both and both? He said, I have no other answer. Obey your mother and do not disobey your father. Meaning that you cannot draw the line. You have to try to compromise and do your level best, providing that there is no sin, providing that there is nothing that is sinful they're ordering you to do. Abu Abdullah is saying that when we raise our heads from the ruku', we know that the Imam says, Sami Allahu min hamidah, or we say, if we're alone, Sami Allahu min hamidah, and then we say, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. But there are a number of different dua. Rabbana wa lakal hamd, hamdan kathiri mubarakan fih. ربنا ولك الحمد ملء السماوات وملء الارض وملء ما بينهما ملء ما شئت من شيء بعد حق من قال العبد كلنا لك اهل الثناء والمجد لا مانع لما اعطيت ولا معطي لما منعت ولا ينفع ذا الجد منك الجد. So he says, can we combine? The answer is yes. If the Imam is waiting and he is doing a lot of supplication, it's better to combine rather than to stand in silence. So you may do this, inshallah, and there's nothing wrong in that. Okay, Sister Tutifa from Saudi Arabia.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
My name is Tawsifa.
Tawsifa. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to ask one question.
Okay.
I live at Abha, and the timing of the prayers of Abha and Makkah al-Mukarramah is almost the same. You will be knowing that they are daily showing the Salatawi and Salatul Isha from Makkah Mukarramah through television daily. So can I join this, Salatul Taraweeh and Salatul Isha?
All the way from
Is
Abha.
it right? Is it permissible?
Okay. I will answer your question, inshallah. And Rashida from Saudi Arabia?
Hello?
Yes.
I'm still here. I have a question.
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay, yeah, my question is it okay for a Hafiz to pray Taraweeh at home because he's memorized the Quran and it's a way for him to review the Quran rather than praying in the masjid congregation?
Okay.
If a person has memorized the Quran, is it best for him to pray home as a way for him to review?
Okay.
Or is it recommended for him to pray in the masjid for Taraweeh?
You're speaking on behalf of a male, right?
Of a male, not a
Okay.
woman.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Abu Abdullah's last question, he was asking, is there a dua that the Prophet used to say so that Allah would keep these tribulations and fitan away from us? There are a lot of du'as, but they are general. The specific ones, for example, that the Prophet taught us to say before we offer salam, before we conclude our prayer, by saying, Allahumma na'udhu bika min adhabi jahannam wa min adhabi al-qabr, min fitnat al-mahya wal-mamat, wa min fitnat al-masih al-dajjal. So, this last two, oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from the torment of hell, and from the torment of the grave, and from the torment of life and death. So this is one. The fitna, from the tribulation of life and death. This is one. And from the tribulation of the Antichrist, of the Dajjal. So the Prophet specifically naming this fitna. Also, the Prophet ﷺ used to say and address his ummah, ta'awwadu billahi min al-fitan. Seek refuge in Allah Azza wa Jal from tribulation, ever is hidden or appearing. ما ظهر منها وما بطن. So, all of this is part of the du'as that the Prophet ﷺ used to ask Allah Azza wa Jal to preserve him and his ummah from such a thing. Okay, Sister Alkama is back again. Your question, Sister?
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Actually, my question is again for the lucky draw. It's for the lucky draw when we purchase something from like supermarkets. They give a coupon on 10 riyal or 5 riyal, and we have to fill that. And that lucky draw, is it permissible to participate in that lucky draw?
Meaning that when you fill the coupon, do you pay 5 riyals or 10 riyals?
Yeah. When we purchase something of 5 riyal, 10 riyal, and they fix amount on the fixed amount they give one coupon, like 5 riyal they give one coupon, or 10 riyal they give one. Is it permissible to participate in that lucky draw?
Okay, I will answer your question. Khadija from Saudi Arabia. Khadija.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Sheikh, I have 3 questions.
Okay.
Okay, the first question is, like what we see nowadays are the traffic signals. Women carrying small children and healthy boys ask for begging. So is it permissible for us to give them amount as they are beggars? Because I have heard of an hadith wherein Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked a person to move or clean his slipper and then gave him money and did not just pay him for begging. Also in Quran I have gone across an ayat which says pay to those who ask. So what is exactly that we need to go ahead with?
Okay, second question.
My second question is, my co-sister-in-law, without her husband, can she join for Umrah with me and my husband? Because my husband is her brother-in-law. So can she join to Umrah with us?
Your sister-in-law?
My co-sister-in-law,
Okay.
yani my husband's brother's wife.
Okay, you are living in?
I'm living in Jeddah.
So she's also residing in Jeddah?
Yeah, she is also living in Jeddah. So can she join me and my husband without her husband or any of her mahram?
Third question.
Can she join me to go to Haram for Umrah?
Third question.
And can I cut my hair myself after doing my Umrah?
Okay, I will answer your questions, inshallah. Safa from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaykum salam.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask 3 questions from you.
Okay.
The number one is there any particular surahs that we have to recite to get a child, to get pregnant, and to get rid of an illness, not a deadly disease, just a normal disease?
Okay. Second question.
And number 2 is if I'm having a gold 200 grams, which is 21 carats, so how it is possible to give the zakat?
Right. Third question.
And number 3 is, can we make du'as, personal du'as during sujood in 5-time prayers and sunnah prayers?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Umar was asking, what's the difference between tahajjud and night prayer? Tahajjud is part of night prayer. So night prayer is the umbrella. Under it you have tahajjud, you have taraweeh, you have witr. All of this is considered to be night prayer. But tahajjud, scholars say that it has to be preceded by sleeping. So if someone is awake the whole night until the break of dawn and he prays night prayer, this is night prayer. It's not tahajjud. You have to sleep for half an hour or so and wake up, because waking up in the middle of the night to pray is very hard and difficult. That's why tahajjud is far greater than normal prayer night prayer which you pray before sleeping. And that is why also the Prophet said, ﷺ, the best of prayer other than the mandatory prayers are the night prayer, and the best of night prayer is in the middle of the night, meaning in the midst of the night where everyone is asleep. And of course the best time is the last third of the night. So if night time is 9 hours, the last third is 3 hours before Fajr. And this is how you calculate it. Khadija from the Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Ramadan Mubarak.
And to you as well.
Sheikh, I have a question because as earlier you have mentioned about the praying witr, just like praying it like a Maghrib, it is forbidden.
Yes.
And while we are in the masjid, okay, we were praying there how many days, and then and one night the Imam prayed 3 rakah as Maghrib prayer. So what happened? I was distracted with my witr, and then I didn't know what to do. What is the best thing to do? Is it to not to continue the witr, or to make taslim, or what to do? And then second question is, if for example, if you are in the congregation, and then you are in the first tashahhud, and then you added salawat to the Prophet while the Imam is still sitting, is it permissible, or you have to make sujood asawi? If
what rak'ah are you in?
Pardon?
What rak'ah were you in?
In the first tashahhud, 2 rak'ah, for example.
Okay, and you gave the salutation.
Like, for example, in Isha prayer.
Okay.
Okay. In tashahhud, in the first tashahhud, it should be up to only to La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and then you added the salawat to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay.
And is it part of the rukun, or shall I have to make a sujood asawi?
I understand. I will answer your question, inshallah. Okay, I believe that we will not have any more phone calls because time is catching up. Tawsifa, she is saying that she lives in Abha. Lucky her. It's very cold, it's very nice weather, mashallah. It's very high. And she says that the timings are almost the same. Let's assume they are the same. Let's assume that you're living in Mecca, not in Abha, but far away from the Haram. And she says, I see the people praying Taraweeh, praying Isha prayer. So can I join them? And the answer is, are you considered to be in the congregation? The answer is no. You're not in the masjid. You're not physically there. You cannot see them physically, and the roads are not connected, and therefore you cannot pray with them even if you were in Mecca, let alone being in Abha. Rashida, she says, if a male is a hafiz of the Quran, mashallah, and he would like to pray Taraweeh in the house to revise his hifz and his Quran, is this permissible? Taraweeh is not mandatory. So even if I don't want to pray Taraweeh, I want to sit home and I don't want to pray Taraweeh, I'm the loser. But did I make a sin? No, it's not a sin. And that is why scholars say Umar ibn Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, when he joined the people to pray behind Tamim al-Dari and ibn Ka'b in Ramadan, and they prayed behind one imam. Before they used to pray scattered here and there, one or two. When he combined them, he did not join them, he did not pray with them. And he would say, the one that they sleep over is better than the one they're praying now. Meaning that their prayer at the end of the night is much better than now. And he used to pray on his own. But scholars say that he didn't neglect Taraweeh. He had so much on his plate that he had a whole ummah to run. So he was utilizing the time of Taraweeh to send the armies and to run his government, his ummah, his country. And he would also pray night prayer, but he would delay it. So if he wants to pray at home, definitely this is permissible. Now, which is more rewardable? Definitely praying it with the congregation in the masjid. The Prophet said, ﷺ, he who prays with the imam until he concludes his prayer, Allah would reward him as if he prayed the whole night. So 1 hour with the imam is equivalent to praying from Maghrib till the break of dawn. And no one can do this on his own. So definitely the reward is far greater if he prays with the imam. And if he can combine both, pray with the imam and then go home and offer tahajjud prayer or night prayer and revise your Quran, this is good, adding to good. Alqama says, clarifies, Alqama is clarifying that we buy and the total is 300 riyals. They give us 30 coupons, 10 riyals each. We fill our names and we put it in. Again, the same answer. If you go usually before the draw, before this competition, if you are used to going to that place and then they came up with this idea and you participating is halal. But if all the time I go to X superstores, and when Y superstores introduced this, I changed so that I would participate, this is haram. Khadija, we always face those beggars at traffic lights carrying children, and she's confused because she remembered a hadith with the Prophet. Some ordered a beggar to clean his shoes. I don't know any of such a hadith. And the Prophet, I believe, would not do this. But we have to look at the hadith, and you have to provide us with the sources. I never know or recall anything that the Prophet ordered a beggar to clean his shoes and then gave him sadaqah, charity. This is not heard of, in my opinion. And the Prophet said in the authentic hadith that a beggar, not a beggar, someone who is asking for money has a right even if he comes on horseback, meaning horseback, and he's as if he's driving a car. Meaning that you should try your level best to give money to the poor and don't look into their intention. See, if you're going to utilize your money, 1,000 riyals, and give it to those who need it, yes. But if you're going to scrutinize everyone that comes to you and at the end of the day don't even pay 1 riyal, no. Give, and the intention is by Allah. These beggars, they should be controlled by the government. They should ban them, and they're trying their best, but there's so many of them. You cannot control it. People claim to come for Umrah, and they don't leave on time. And they start begging at masjids, at the streets, and some of them, they inflict these handicaps, and they put these imputations on them forcefully so that they can beg, and all of this is definitely not a good sign. Khadija is saying that my co-sister-in-law, meaning Khadija and her husband, and her husband's sister-in-law. Can they go for Umrah? The answer is yes, because they are in Jeddah, and from Jeddah to Mecca they do not require a mahram because it's not a traveling distance. She says, can I cut my own hair after concluding the Umrah? The answer is yes. Safa from Saudi Arabia, is there any prescribed surah for someone to recite so that he can conceive? The answer is no. But you can supplicate. It's far greater than any other means of conceiving. So you can supplicate while in your sujood, while in your prayer, while in the last third of the night, between adhan and iqama, at times of rainfall. All of this, inshallah, is heard by Allah Azza wa Jal. She has 200 grams of 21 karat of gold. Is there zakat for it? You have to take it to the goldsmith, and he would evaluate how much pure gold in it. Maybe it would come to 170, and then this is what you have to pay zakat for, 170, the pure gold, not the 221 karat gold. So the one that advises you is the goldsmith. I think on the internet, I've seen it once, they had a table saying that if you have 21 grams of gold, this is equivalent to so much in 24 karat. If it's 18, if it's 16, so it gives you the math. Can we supplicate in sujood? Yes, you can supplicate in sujood whatever you want. Oh Allah Azza wa Jal, pay off my debts. Oh Allah, guide my spouse. Oh Allah, grant me a child, etc. All of this is permissible. Khadija says, Witr and Maghrib, what should I do? The Imam prayed 3 rak'ahs. You should have followed him. Though it's wrong, you should follow him because the Imam is following the Imam Abu Hanifa, and it's a trustworthy school of thought. There is no problem in following it. And finally, she made a mistake. She says that after offering the tashahhud in the second rak'ah, the Imam was sitting, so she continued to say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Should she prostrate for forgetfulness? Definitely not, because this is something, part of the salah, and if the Imam prolonged his sitting, you may say this. Some scholars like Shafi'i say it is recommended. So Sheikh bin Baz says it's recommended to say it, even if he does not prolong. So making it is no problem, inshaAllah. I'm afraid that this is all the time we have. Until we meet you next time. Fi amanillah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh my Creator, oh Allah, fulfill our aims in life, Allah. Forgive our sins, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, the most gracious. Oh Allah, the most gracious.